Life creates struggles for us all, but there is a place where people help overcome your challenges. Dreams and Visions is a group practice providing mental health services for adults, seniors, and children ages 4 and up. Our trained therapists use evidence-based approaches to create realistic, individualized treatment plans to reach your goals. We conveniently offer virtual care. Visit dreamsandvisionsatl.com and click Get Started on our website today.
Hello, everyone. My name is LaShonda. I am the CEO and a therapist at Dreams and Visions. Dreams and Visions is a group practice that provides mental health therapy. And today we're going to be interviewing and we're just having a chat with Realionaire.
Right.
We're going to be talking about mental health. It is June. It is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And so I wanted to make sure that Dreams and Visions just talked about that. It's important. I want our men to heal. I want our men to be well. And I wanted to bring in a few men to talk about this with. So, Realionaire, thank you for joining us.
And I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be
Yeah.
here.
I am excited to hear your story and just get to know you a little bit better and just talk about mental health. So tell us a little bit about you.
Cool. I'm Greg McNeal, known as Realionaire. Realionaire is a purpose-driven individual with core values that money can't buy. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois, the West Side to be exact. I've been in Georgia for almost 13 years now. Basically, due to a lot of things, PTSD and things of that nature, I I moved away from my hometown to reinvent myself, and it was a big step because there was no jobs or nothing lined up for me. It was just me stepping out on faith,
Wow.
understanding that nothing was more important than my peace, my mental sanity. So it kind of led me to Georgia, where I eventually was able to reinvent myself. And I'm just happy to be here. Just a serial entrepreneur. I'm the CEO of Realionaire Lifestyle Collection, and then I have what's called my thought process is the mindset shifter. It piggybacks off of the brand Realionaire, and so that's really what I deal with on a daily, which is trying to shift our mindsets, help us deal with different mental disorders, and a lot of stuff that most men are ashamed to communicate about, and open up about. I think a lot of guys are more receptive and open up to me because they understand what I've been through and I can relate to them, you know.
So let's dig into that a little bit. What makes you relatable? I'm sure the two probably go together. What makes you relatable? And then I'm also wondering, that move from Chicago to Georgia,
Mhm.
like what was disrupting your peace? What prompted
Well,
that move?
well, I will say, to make a long story short, I started out on a straight path, ended up veering off course, became the head of a drug conspiracy out of Chicago, and I was sentenced to 25 years federally. But the blessing that came in that was during that time, I really worked on my mental. I really began to shift my mindset. And I believe, this is my thought, that once the creator saw that I was ready for service and to do my part, I was released. I was blessed out of that sentence. So I served close to 5 years off of my sentence of 25 years, got my entire conviction overturned, sentence vacated. And then I came home and I saw all of my guys, they were still stuck in that same thought pattern. So it
Uh-huh.
so I could have either fit right back in and got right back in my position and
Uh-huh.
continue with the poisoning of my community, or I could just step out on faith and just move. So I just completely changed my entire environment and just adapted to it accordingly.
Okay, but look, we gotta take a step back because you
I'm with
you
it.
said 25 years
Yes,
federally and you
yes,
only served 5.
close to
That's
five. My
like
my out
that's
date was
unheard of.
2027. I'm a walking blessing. I'm still not supposed to be here right now. My out date was 2027. Fourth Amendment violation, illegal search and seizure. So what happened with me?
Okay.
What happened with me don't happen. Like most
Right,
times,
because they know better.
yeah, most times when it's federal, you're not even going to trial with the federal government. You just taking a plea and laying down. I was a stubborn, young, bullheaded young man, and I felt like the creator had a purpose for me. So it kind of like had my mind set on I'm not just laying down. So I decided to take him to trial, and it worked out the way it worked out beautifully.
And so tell me more about your purpose. What did God create you to do?
Um, to shift the mindsets of us as a people, not just men, but us as a people. But I think a lot of men gravitate toward me because of the lifestyle I live. I was, like I said, the head of a drug conspiracy in a major city, counting millions of dollars at a young age, 20, 21 years old. So I lived that fast life. And then just to be humble enough to be cut down to zero, but still not allow any amount of money, affect my peace. Because mentally, that was a change. That's a shift in
Yeah,
itself. I came here and I worked at LA Fitness. I worked 70 hours. They gave me a check for $440. You know how that could have weighed on me mentally when I know I could have been in Chicago, right back in the mix and really,
right.
really getting to what they call a bag. But, it wasn't worth it to me. So it was like I stayed the course, endured the hardship, dealt with all of the the mental lapses that came with that. The thought of, man, the struggle is so bad that I need to get back to doing what I know. And the
Hmm.
thing with that is when you're a one-trick pony, they use that against you because a lot of guys, that's why the recidivism rate is so high with prisons, because a lot of these young men come home and they don't have a plan.
Right,
So mentally it's weighing on you because you can't get a job because you're a felon. They have you check that
right.
box 9 times out of 10, you're not getting a job. You can't get proper place to live because they still ask you, are you a felon as well? So
Yeah,
now when your back is up against this wall, mentally, what's a man gonna do? Self-preservation kicks in, and now you have to fend for your family, correct? So now it's like, you're gonna go back to what you know. But
ooh,
luckily enough, I have built up my mental capacity to deal with everything that came against me, and I had proper planning, and I was able to continue to execute and stay the course. Ended up becoming an author. I authored a book called Background Check, and it'll make you think like it's a prison book about your background, but no, it's not. I flipped on it. I spoke about that, about checking the box and all that type of stuff, but it's really a um, 7 keys to life and success. I was showing people how to go into um, retail spaces, negotiate your lease, get the owner to do the bill out. I put a lot of stuff in a small book, and then I was into fitness, so everything is surrounded by service. And then I understand that being physically fit, not just the look, but the health version of
right.
being healthy. So I opened the gym, and I actually had a gym out here for like 13 years. And then I piggybacked that into a healthy eating restaurant for 5 years as well. So just really just continuing to push the envelope, reinvent myself, but staying within the lines of what I do, which is help my people and just being here for service. Like I said, I didn't take my blessing lightly. I came out, hit the ground running, and that's just what it's been ever since. Just the passion is just different.
Story. So I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, as a therapist, I use a holistic approach. I
Mhm.
I help people to see that their mind, their body, and their spirit are all connected. So
Yeah,
you're touching on some of that. Like, no, you got to take care of your body and even keep your mental sanity. Like,
that's
it's
dope.
all connected.
That's dope.
So
I call it the 20-20-20. I read on
okay,
it like in the morning, get up, 20 minutes of physical exercise, 20 minutes of meditation, and then 20 minutes of your spiritual before you start your day off.
it,
Yeah, it gives you
it.
that hour set alone just to set the tone for the top of your day. And I
Mm-hmm.
started it. I'm like, wow, I like this. It gave me
Where
a
did you
whole
get
different
that idea
energy.
from?
Huh?
Where did you get that idea from to do the 2020?
Just different readings and stuff. I read daily. I try to apply myself because I know a lot of us avoid, like, definitely in Chicago where we from, it's like you got to be tough, you got to be a certain way, and then you can be considered a lame if you fall into categories of certain things. But I don't fall into those categories because I guess I'm looked at as being a guy who was on that scale, and so it's like when they see me doing it, it's like, oh, it's really cool to do then. If Money doing it, that's my nickname in Chicago. So my full musical name is Realionaire Money. And when I say musical, that's another story, another layer, because my mother died 3 years ago. And
Sorry to
mentally
hear that.
I was broken. My mother is like my best friend. Her and my father are my best friend. But mentally I was broken and I was trying to figure out how I was going to be able to cope with her death. And I started writing for therapy. And that therapy turned into a healthy brand of music, which pushed me away from the fitness and everything else. I was already doing speaking engagements for at-risk youth, young adults, the recidivism rate, like going into the prisons and everything. But I understood that music was universal and therapeutic. So now I was led to doing music through the death of my mother. So mentally that helped me, that writing helped me. And I ended up making an entire album, working on like, and I never had did music prior. So it's like all these different things. I understand it. It's a calling, and just I'm where I need to be at. I'm living in my passion and my purpose.
Oh man, that so you took your grief
Mm-hmm.
and you channeled it into the music,
Yes.
and that was healing for you.
No killing, no degradation of the women, no glorification of guns and drugs, because I really come from that and I understand the poison, and I understand that the music is so influential that if you speak in that and these youngsters start gravitating towards it, they'll start to emulate it. And I didn't want that. So I talked to the flip side and also let them understand that I really come from it. And you can see it in black and white. A lot of these artists can't do that. They don't come from it, but they speak about it and poison the youth and send them off. And now they go and doing all these things, and then they end up in situations they can't get out of.
You are figuring out how to go back and save the community. Like, so now you're extra conscious about that,
Yes,
which
yes,
is
yes.
amazing because you're like,
Mm-hmm.
I already did my
Mm-hmm.
my time. I did some of the damage. Now I want to correct that.
Correct. I I went through it so you don't have to go through it. It's like I fell on a sword. So now, even I spoke at I was at Fulton County Prison for a month. That's like it's a rough prison, and I was told that the young men were being walked around like dogs prior to me coming. A lot of stabbings, a lot of killings, and things like that. And I really, when I got there, we kind of like shift the whole tone of the entire jail because they saw the passion within me. I was driving an hour away from Kennesaw all the way to Fulton County every single day to sit with those brothers. They gave me a whole wing by myself, all 17-year-olds. I had 20 17-year-olds who I would sit with. I gave them my books. I did everything with these kids. And they basically would tell me that um, mentally I gave them a different outlook on life, but they didn't have a male presence or a father figure or a big brother that was on the outside with them that could have helped them, the preventative measures. So it's crazy that some of these young men are fighting. All of them are fighting at least a murder, but a murder or a better who would never see the streets again, and they're 17 years old. So it was like it really used to crumble me every time I would have to leave them. And what was crazy was they like, man, you so comfortable because you don't have no security in here with you. Like, wasn't no guards around me, no protection. They put me in with these guys and they just locked the door because they even felt that, man, it was that level of comfort going on within the facility. And that was a blessing to me. I looked at them like they was my sons or my nephews, so
Oh
I
my
really
goodness.
enjoyed it.
That is so touching. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So I hear you saying that they told you like you shifted their mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Um But I also hear you saying like they probably won't have the option like you to get back out.
Right. But with that being said, it doesn't mean that you stop living, you know, because when I was confined, I
Mhm.
witnessed 3 suicides due to mental health issues. These were
Yes.
same men who were getting 15, 20-year sentences and they didn't know how to deal with it. They didn't know how to handle it mentally. You have to have a strong mindset
You
within
do?
those places of confinement. A lot of people don't understand. They see this stuff on TV and they push the, no disrespect, but they push the homosexuality and all this other type of stuff within the prison. Nah, it's a real psychological war with the guards, with dealing with your family situations that might be going on, relationships. So it's so many different stress factors that weigh in mentally that if you're not prepared for that, you will break as a man. So one day I was on a visit and the guy next to me, he had got like 15 years, had a beautiful daughter and his girl came to visit him. The daughter walked up to me. Don't I look just like my daddy? And I'm like, oh yeah, you look, real sweet. We went back on the tier. He didn't come back out. He had hung himself. So it's like I looked at that in 2 ways because I felt like you had a 15-year sentence. I looked at it like a cop out because you just saw your beautiful daughter and she loved you. And then you go right an hour later and hang yourself. So it was like at the time I couldn't wrap my head around it, but it's like we weren't having those conversations. And
Mhm.
he's probably a man that wouldn't have been, he would have been too stubborn or too stuck in his ego to really sit down and have that conversation, which probably could have helped him mentally because I had 10 years more than you. And I was taking it,
Yeah.
due to certain, things that I used to deal with my mental health situations. And I feel like if we opened up more about it, then that was a life that could have been saved.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I want you to speak into anyone that may be watching this video, a man that is watching this video and is suicidal, that is like, you know what, it's no point in me being here anymore. I don't know what else to do. I tried everything. What can you say to that
I
man?
would say that it's not over until it's over. It's not about how you start, it's how you finish. I'm a guy, like I said, I came from being a multi-millionaire to relocating to Georgia, working 70 hours and receiving a check for $440. So that was like the lowest of the low, especially coming from where I came from. And it's like, if I could withstand all of that, I've dealt with deaths close to me, just the walls just really like closing in where the federal government is taking so much from me. And you have to find you and it don't have to be a big circle. It can be one person. You got to have that one person that's going to help you balance it out and just navigate through them. And then oftentimes it's not a family or it's not even a friend. It could be a person like me. And now you have my information. You can reach out, hey, and we can talk through some things because like I said, I know that I've been through several things that's going to be relatable to a lot of different people from the streets, schooling, because I even been to college. So it's like I have all the different layers, and it's like nothing I haven't seen and nothing I haven't had to get through. And like I always say, we grow through what we go through. So
Yes, that's good. And so support. And you know what's interesting? This is my second interview, and support came up in the last one too. The research shows that I did research with Black men that were grieving,
uh-huh.
and a lot of the interviews and the statistics on that show that the most valuable thing to them was support. Like the person showing up for them, somebody bringing them food, somebody giving them a ride, or helping them with their kids.
you
That was the
you will
support
be
that they needed.
surprised. Even in a place of confinement, I tell people that have never been confined, they don't know how far a letter goes, how far 10 $20 can go so a gentleman can buy some stamps. It don't have to be nothing big. A couple pictures, because they could be on edge. They could go out and stab somebody at any moment because they're on edge
Mhm.
mentally. But certain things like that really soothes a person and can calm an individual. But if you're on the outside, like, oh, he shouldn't have did it anyway. We told him, a lot of times, guys, we don't always make the best decisions. We don't always make the best choices. And then some of us were led to certain decision choices due to their circumstances, So I'm no judge, but I just know that certain things helps out, and support is one major one for me.
Okay, thank you. And so I'm gonna switch just a little bit because you
Mhm,
talked about some grief in there too, right?
mhm.
When your mom passed away, tell if there's someone who recently lost a parent, a man that lost a parent and
Mhm.
he's just not in a place where he's like, I don't know what else to do.
Right.
Like you said, your mom was one of your best friends. They
Yes,
feel like
my
their parent was
father.
their best friend. What do you do? So give them some tips, give them some
My
advice.
thing was I didn't hold nothing in. Like I cried every single day. Like if it led me to, I wasn't bottling up my emotions. I let it out. Prayer for sure. And then what helped me, like I said, I put it to paper. I started writing for therapy. I started writing, and it helped me. And once that writing became something more magical, it began to help others. So that's my thing. Don't bottle nothing up. Don't be afraid to show your emotions, because most times we supposed to be tough guys under whatever circumstance. We supposed to be so tough, And I I had no tough moment when it came to the death of my mother. I lost my mother and grandmother within the past 3 years. So it's like, and I've still had to, withstand through all of that. So, and still be a beacon of light, still do everything that I was doing. And like I said, I'm not saying that it's been easy. I have my tough moments, but I have a plan, I have a system in place to really help me get through it. And part of me getting through it is helping others. That's how I get through what I'm going through as well.
So you just found some outlets that allow you to release. So if y'all don't hear anything else in this video, Realionaire is trying to let y'all know it's okay to release.
For
Whatever
sure.
that looks like for you, it is okay to do it. If that's crying, find you a safe place and some safe people that you can cry with.
No
If
doubt.
that's helping other people, do that.
No, I
Anything
agree.
else for the people? Go ahead,
Um,
chime in.
well, like I said, I understand mental health is not a joke, it's not a game, and it's not to be taken lightly for sure. But proper support. There's so many different mental health issues that people deal with, and it can sever relationships. Like mental health can rip apart great things. So it's like it's important to, if you do have someone to talk to about it, to really seek counseling, which is frowned upon within the Black communities, stuff like that. And I don't mind any of that now. Like I used to frown upon, man, I ain't no counseling. Man, I'm open to anything that's gonna help me evolve as a man and help me mentally. So it's like,
Oh, I love
yeah,
that. And
yeah,
evolving, that's the whole game here. We just want to keep evolving into the best version of ourselves.
correct.
Oh my goodness. This was so good. And I hope that somebody listening is pulling from this and realizing like you weren't alone. These feelings that you're feeling, they're natural. They're the emotions that God
Yeah,
gave us. And it's okay to feel them. You just gotta make sure that you don't stay in those dark places
that,
if it's dark feelings.
that's the key right there. And
Yeah.
then pick up my album. It's gonna help you with it.
Album,
It's
book,
called
what
Bars of
else?
Revelations. It's on Bars of Revelations by Realionaire Money. It's on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, and all of them. Like I said, it's a very relatable and it's a feel good album, and it'll help you get through some stuff.
Awesome. And where can they get your book?
Back, I have it on my website. It's Realionaire Lifestyle Collection.com.
Okay.
And you can RealionaireLifestyleCollection.com. You can pick up the book as well as different, apparel that I have. stuff like that. So, I'm working. I also do herbs. So sea moss, black cedar. And the thing with my herbs is I actually capsule them myself because I understand the difference between a vegetarian capsule and your gelatin capsules, which if you have a good product, but it's capsule and gelatin is not as
Right.
good. So I really pride myself in putting the best products out and giving our people the best. So in all
Awesome.
aspects.
Yes, mind, body, and spirit. I love it.
No
I
doubt.
love it. So we talked about a bunch of different emotions
Yeah, we
here, different
navigate.
things going on with mental health, right? And so this is what you can use dreams and visions as a resource for.
For
Dreams and
sure.
visions, I told you, is a group practice. So if you are a man out there struggling, and a woman too, but
Mhm.
this talk was directed at the men because it is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month for the month of June. So fellas, we need y'all. We need
We
y'all.
do. We do.
So we want you to stay healthy and well. If that means connecting with dreams and visions and getting some support
As
that
you
you need,
should. As you should.
please, yep, don't hesitate. And you said it, Realionaire, like our culture will tell us like, no, what happens at home stays at home.
Yeah. Frowned
You don't
upon.
talk about it. Yep. But that is the goal of these interviews that I'm doing to let's break that stigma.
Man, make it because it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay to get help. There are people out here that have gone to school for years, that have studied and researched. Like, let us give you the tools that
Yeah.
we've already figured out can help you. So I'm
Definitely.
excited. I'm excited about just helping people in general. And I can tell that you're passionate about what
You
you're
helping
doing.
me right
So
now. What do you mean?
say that again.
Just being able to get it out, it helps for sure.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Tell people how to follow you, how to find you if they want to
Well,
follow
you can find me at Realionaire, REALIONAIRE _money on Instagram. And you can it'll get you to everything else I have going on because I have a couple other Instagram pages connected to the music and the apparel as well. And man, I'm an open book. I'm always here too, and I'm a beacon. I'm a beacon. I'm a beacon of light for the people. So just passionate about what I do, and just I'm looking to create more Realionaires. And like I said, a Realionaire is a purpose-driven individual with core values that money can't buy. You know.
Love it. Oh my goodness. And if there's any way that I can help you with creating those Realionaires, let me know.
Oh,
We got to stay connected.
we just
Thank
did it.
you.
We just
Yes.
did it. We definitely
Yes.
got to stay connected.
Uh-huh. So thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for talking with us, for sharing your story, for being that beacon of light, for going into those jails that was so needed. You saved some lives. And I appreciate you for it. We all appreciate you
No
for it.
doubt.
So
I thank
thank
you
you
for
for doing
having me.
your part.
I thank
No
you for having
problem.
me.
And thank you for doing your part in rebuilding our community. Because that's, if all of us do our part,
Yeah, we
we can
still
make
got a
a
lot of
big
work to do,
difference.
but I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop.
Me either. Look,
No
me
doubt.
either. You get tired sometimes, but you like, no, we're gonna keep
Yeah.
pushing. So yes, all right. It was good having you, and we'll talk with you soon.
Cool. You too. Take care.